Hello everybody, hopefully you can hear me. So I'm going to get started in a second. I just wanted to do a little couple of things of housekeeping before I get going. So first of all, thanks very much for joining. First time we've done the webinar like this before, and it's the first time we're using this tool, so let me know how it goes, please, can you, at the end. What I want to do is talk for about 15 minutes. I've got a little presentation to show you around the product. And then I'm going to take questions at the end using the chat room, and maybe even requests for other webinar topics that you might want to cover. So feel free to put them in the chat towards the end. So assuming you guys can all hear me, we'll get started. So as I say, it's all about the Inventory 2.0 and how it's different from how we used to do inventory in BRM1. And we're going to go through these topics today. So browsing your inventory, getting help in the new system, adding bikes, editing and removing your bikes. There's a new feature in 2.0, which is an impact analysis. Because we're not doing it in a spreadsheet, we have much more instant feedback if you're doing something silly, like deleting something with a reservation against it. So we can tell you that immediately, which is a lot better than the old system where you were in a spreadsheet, and accessing your online booking. So like I say, this is really just Inventory 2.0. There'll be other webinars as well. So if there's something missing, then we'll save it for another time. Okay, so by way of recap, this is the old system you'll be very familiar with. Inventory management was in the fleet area. We even had 3 sub-pages: hierarchy management, and we had the import and the export. We used to validate your spreadsheets. You used to have to click on your spreadsheets, and in order to get everything in, out, and change, you had to do it all via the spreadsheet. Now, it wasn't ideal. It worked for about 8 years, but it wasn't ideal because people could break things, and there wasn't really enough of a close link between the two systems, the spreadsheet and the inventory management system. So what we've done is we've rolled out this new system called Inventory 2.0, which I'm going to show you around now. Now, initially, from tomorrow, everybody's going to be cut over to the new system. So you're carrying on in BRM 1.0 from tomorrow, and you'll still see all of this stuff here. You just will not see the management area. Instead, you're going to see this new area, Inventory 2.0. And then over the coming weeks, you guys will all be migrated over into the full BRM2 experience, which looks like this. So it's much better. It works on all sorts of different screen sizes, as you can see, as we mobile, tablet, etc. Different. It's fully responsive, and it's much more intuitive because we've got inbuilt help on every page. And you'll be able to find your way around much more easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the inventory management section. Just going to use it in BRM2 just because it's a slightly nicer environment to work in. And I'm going to show you what it's all about. Let me just check back to the chat room. I'm assuming you guys will put your hand up. Can you just let me know, someone type into chat, that you can hear me so far? And you can see the screen so far. If someone wouldn't mind just saying, yep, all okay. Okay, so to carry on, what we've got is where we used to have about 4 different pages. We had 3 pages and the spreadsheet. We've now really just got this one inventory page and a couple of sub pages. So we've got the add manage area, which is kind of like your home page for your inventory management system. So it's very much built on the basis of what you see is what you get. So you've got your categories at the top, and you've got your product families, your product lines. The product lines are really differentiated by size. Okay, so that's the thing that makes them different from a product family. And underneath your product lines, you've got your actual bikes. Okay, so these are the lines that you used to have. Now, this hierarchy of 4 different levels, item, product line, product family, and category, is actually the same as it was in BRM1. It's the very same 4 levels of hierarchy, but we've just given them fancy icons to make them a bit more distinct. And we've put them all on this one page so that you can navigate your way around. So let me go through this in a little bit more detail. So we've got our categories at the top. The category is the top level thing. And that's what appears first in the online booking wizard, which we'll have a look at in a minute. They're the top, they represent the top level of your hierarchy. Underneath that, we've got your mountain, which is your product family, or your stump jumper over here. And then underneath that, you've got your sizes. Now, this is an important column here. This is your capacity or quantity column, which says how many of a particular product line do you have. So you've got much better control over this thing now. You can actually just change that quite easily. Whereas before you had to go into the spreadsheet and create a new line item. Here you can flick that up and down with much greater control. The other thing that you can do is at every level of the hierarchy, you can go ahead and press the edit button. So the edit button shows you right here now what the product is, what the image is. You can edit any of the images that you want. And at different levels in the hierarchy, you can do different things. Categories are actually not that interesting. There's only pretty much one thing you can do, which is name it. You can name it in multiple languages if you're using multiple language feature. And you can have an image, and you can decide whether or not it's internal only, which means it's not on the online booking wizard, or whether or not if you leave that unchecked, then everybody sees it, okay, back office and online. So like I say, category, there's not much going on. Product family gets a bit more interesting. You've got what is the category of this thing, what is the name of it, the image, and then some notes. The pricing group, so this is where we attach it to the price group, which you guys are already familiar with. The same price group logic has been copied over into BRM2, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute as well. So then we go down and we can look at the product line. And again, it gets a bit more interesting. It tells you things like the size, the suitability text. You might be something like 5'10", 5'10" to 6'4", however you want to write that. Everybody writes it differently, but you get the general idea. You can put sizing information in there to give people guidance in the online booking wizard. Now, the other neat thing about 2.0, because we're not using a spreadsheet, we can give you real feedback if you want to change something. So if you want to change the size of a product, it's going to give you the impact analysis right here and there. So it says, okay, well, this has 6 items in. This product line has 6 actual items, but it also has these reservations. So changing something like the size is likely to be a really bad idea when you've got all of that going on. And this is exactly the kind of thing that used to happen all the time in the spreadsheet, because people would load up their inventory with reservations and then make far-reaching changes like size or the parenting, so they change the name of the product line. And of course, that's quite a dangerous thing to do when you're in full season. So now it gives you actual warnings, and certain things it actually just won't let you do. Okay, so that's enough of an overview. The point is there is no spreadsheet now. Everything you see here represents your actual inventory. And you can edit it, you can delete it, and you can add to it. So let's go ahead and do an add. So there's a couple of different ways you can add. Quick add is a nice way of doing all 3 or 4, well, 3 levels of the hierarchy. So let's just say I got a new specialized, if I can type, stump jumper. Okay, so I got some of these. I'm going to start with medium, and let's just say that I've got 3 of them. So quick add actually says, let's add all 3 levels of the hierarchy. So what that means is it added it down here, my category, my product family, and my product line, because I told it was a medium, and indeed I said I have 3 of them. So that's gone ahead and created that. Now I might also have a couple of larges. So you can either add with quick add, which added all of the hierarchy, or you can just add to an existing product line or add to an existing category. So it's quite powerful. And maybe I've got 2 of those guys, so I'm going to change my quantity. The next thing I'm going to want to do is make it look nice. So this specialized guy here, I'm going to upload an image. So I just upload image. Here's one I got earlier, put the specialized Stumpjumper. Now, the category image is very small, as you know, from the online booking. So you're going to have to zoom out quite a lot. And we've just recently really improved the quality of these images as well. So that should be a really nice image that we've uploaded there at the category level. And I'll show you how that looks online in a minute. Then we're going to go in and have a look at the product itself. Okay, so this is when they drill down under the category. Now, this is a bigger image, so we don't have to zoom out as much. Depends, obviously, on how big the image was that you started with, of course. So then we're going to put that in there. We've got a price group. So there's a bunch of other stuff I could do, but I want to keep the demo as short and sweet as possible. So I've done that, and I've created 3 lines of product. Sorry, 3 layers of the hierarchy, I should say, containing a total of 5 different types of bike, 3 mediums and 2 larges. So what does that look like online? So this time we've got a handy little button here. The idea is that it's optimized for getting up and running very quickly with your inventory when you change things or when you create new stuff. So you'll see now my I just created it and it's instantly live. If I click on this guy, there it is there. Any notes would appear here, any detail notes would appear here, and that's now instantly bookable. Okay, but we're not talking about online booking today. So I'll keep it in the scope of inventory. But you can see the point is that it's instantaneous. You create it, go and have a look at it. And the idea is that you can get what we call the shape of your inventory very quickly. Okay, so what is your categories and product family relationships in terms of the naming? What sizes have you got? What quantities have you got? And you can flick that up and down. Maybe you got that wrong. Maybe you've actually got 4 on 1. Super quick to do without going back to the spreadsheet and without actually worrying about individual items at this stage. So now I want to show you what happens when we go down to the actual physical items. So we've got up and running. We've seen that we're now live with our online booking, and we've got these bikes actually live. But what about when we've actually got the physical product and we want to, label up these bikes? So when I'm ready to go, I do a second stage here, which is that I actually create the items. So you see I've got this blue plus button here. So now I can create that, and it says, do you want to actually create 4 items? So we've deliberately detached this from the shape of your inventory because you don't have to do it at the same time. You might want to take online bookings, and then a month later you get the bikes. So that's fine. And then what you can do is you can just name them, okay? Christen them or name them, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to have, everyone has their own naming standards, but maybe it's a Stumpjumper medium, and you've got a 1. You can have a 2. It doesn't let you name them the same, by the way. You can have a 3. And we're actually going to introduce a feature that says, look, hey, I want to call all of these guys SJM, and then add a number at the end. So we're going to add a convenience feature that lets you do that for you. But meanwhile, I've done that manually. So now you'll see that I've got actual product. And this is like a physical bike, which I've created. It obviously it exists in the hierarchy here. It's got a category, a frame type, size, name, barcode, serial number if you want it, price group. And it's even got a history of what's ever happened to it. Okay, so that's when I created it and changed the name. Okay, so again, trying to keep this short and sweet by way of an overview. We talked about the fact that you can add, edit, and update your inventory very easily. So what happens if you want to delete? You don't need to go into the spreadsheet anymore. You can just do it here. But we don't want it to be too dangerous. That it's if people suddenly delete the wrong stuff, then there's going to be problems. So we put protection in. So at the moment, you can't delete this specialized guy because it's got children. So it does what we call an impact analysis, and it says, well, hang on a minute, this guy's got product families. And similarly, you can't delete product families because it's got children. And you can't do that all the way down the tree for safety reasons. In the future, we're going to add like a bulk delete feature only for admin users who are going to have kind of like the ability to do things like that. Maybe at the end of your season, you want to get rid of 100 bikes. We'll give you the ability to do that, but only under certain restrictions. Meanwhile, you go back to the bottom of the tree and you say, you know what, I want to get rid of that guy. There's no children, no reservations, that's fine. This guy here, I can get rid of these guys. And again, I've got no reservations against these guys because I just created them. So there's no implications. So you see what we're doing here. We're actually doing deleting, but only when it's safe to do so. So I still couldn't delete this guy until I delete its child. And now I can go ahead and delete that. And then I can get rid of my category. So it pretty much is how you would expect. You create things either with a quick add. You can add to an existing category or to an existing product line. And you can just cancel that if you don't want to do that. You can edit by clicking on the edit buttons at whatever level in the hierarchy you want to. You'll also notice while we're here that all of the pages have help built right in. Okay, so this on the right-hand side, it tells you what this page is all about. What do we mean by product family, and how does it fit into the rest of the hierarchy? Gives you an introduction here, for example. All of this is built into the help system, so when you're playing around with your own version, you've got this to refer to. Okay, so we've done getting help, we've done adding bikes, we've done editing bikes, we've done removing bikes, and now we've done impact analysis. So let's go and have another look at the other section that we've got in inventory. So remember I said there was 2 pages now. The other page is the search page. So this is a very powerful page to let you find the inventory that you want. So for example, let's just say I'm looking for this guy, M11. You can actually type in the ID and it will find it for you here. And you can click on that and it takes you straight to the detail page. So you don't necessarily need to navigate down all the way through. So let's have a look now, a bit of a closer inspection at the detail page. We've already been through this a little bit. Now, some of these features we've got here, this is an interesting one, which we didn't have before, the reservations button. So it shows you what reservation activity this inventory is involved with. So we know that this particular guy, M11, is actually involved in this reservation here. And we can click on that and we can see there indeed that it does involve M11. So it's a much tighter integration between what it is that you're looking at, your inventory, and how it's involved in reservations that you may have. We've already covered the fact that we have the full asset history, everything that's ever happened. As you can see, this is one of our demo systems, so it's very, very busy, this fleet, and goes all the way back. The other thing we do is we've got different tabs. So we've incorporated the maintenance part of the system right inside the product. It made no sense to have a maintenance system and an inventory system where really they're all talking about products. So a lot of these features are built right in. Here we've got the status, the service points. You can put in notes here, something that you might want to reference, a mechanic note, but also you can put in a service entry note as well. So just like you can in the old system, you can actually go in and say, oh, looks like they might, there we go. You can actually put in here, fitted new inner tube. You can put in your cost of parts, time, parts used. You can even put in templates. Let's use one of these templates. There you go. Someone's already filled that in. And you can actually do this by scanning in a barcode, which is outside the realms of this particular topic, but we'll do another webinar on that hands-free mode. So you can go in here and then enter things by, it listens to the barcodes that you scan in. But again, that's pretty much a different topic. So once you've done that, you can see we're looking at the details of the bike, we're looking at the maintenance, and you can see that you can access the service history, which is slightly different from the entire history. So this is everything just to do with the service angle of the bike, as compared with everything to do with the full history. So when the bike was checked in, checked out, broken, changed location, etc. Okay, and then the final tab, this is an enhancement from BRM 1.0, buying and selling information. So we can put in here the buy price, the buy date, sell price, is it for sale, how much for, any notes in here. And coming later in the season, we're going to be introducing a one-click sell operation where you can click to sell, and we will actually make them available in an online booking version for selling. So you can kind of publish your ex-rental bikes. But again, that's pretty much outside the scope. Just wanted to mention that that's something we've got coming up. So let's just recap. Let's go back up to the top. I think the only thing left to do is price groups. So price groups has not changed since 1.0 version. It's exactly the same idea. We've just put it on a new page. So you've got all of your price groups down here. You used to have a grid very similar to this in the old version. And all of your price points, which is the durations that you recognize pricing for, are the columns. So you can see that this particular bike, this electric bike, well, that's a bad example. This demo package, $25, 25, 45, as the durations go up. Okay, so this hasn't changed. It's just got a new interface. So you still have price groups, and the price groups have price points, which you can add and delete from this page, as you'd imagine. And your inventory uses those price groups to determine the pricing of the assets in your reservations. And I believe it's at the product family level. So it's all the way up at the product family level that we assign the price group, and everything underneath that product family has the same pricing. So if we were to look down now, go all the way down to product line, you should see, there you go. So it's got the mountain price group. You can't edit it here, and it tells you that it's been inherited from the product family. Okay, guys, that is pretty much it. Hope that's been useful. I'm going to throw it open to questions now. Let's have a look. So please get your questions in, and also get in any requests that you might have for future webinars, follow-up calls, follow-up questions. Okay. Rob says, with the BRM 1.0 spreadsheet, we were able to save a copy of it for later review of the archived items, e.g. to check rented items from last year which are deleted. Is that still possible? Well, that's a good question. So you do still have the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet is not being deleted. It's just not going to be used. So in the first instance, you'll still have your old spreadsheet to refer to. Going forward, I'm going to have to think about that, Rob. Okay, so save a copy of it so that we can check rented items from last year. Yeah, I think we'll have to take that one offline and discuss how we best do that in 2.0. It is an interesting one, because I agree that kind of comparison analysis is very useful. One of the things we're going to be doing in 2.0 is doing much better data crunching, data analysis, and we're probably going to use a third-party product to do all of the number crunching. So in 1.0, we had some quite basic graphs, like your rentals per bike, rentals per month, but there's never really enough data, given how much data BRM collects. So we're probably going to allow people to view that in one of these graphing tools, which we're going to make available through the product as well. So it'd be more powerful, and that's kind of a little bit of what you're talking about there, I think, Rob, in regards to how did stuff perform and making a year-on-year comparison. But yeah, I think we'll discuss that a little bit further. Thank you for that one. Going back, right, Michelle, can we customize our categories? Yeah, you absolutely can. You can name them whatever you want in different languages. So let's just change. I better not change this because it's one of our demo ones that we use all the time. Here's one I did earlier, this gravel guy. So, I mean, you can just, if you want to call that gravel bike, then it's as easy as that. You just change it right there, and that changes it instantly. And again, you can do that in as many different languages as you want. You can have the French version of it as well. It's not really VTC, but anyway, something it's quite similar. So you get the idea. So you can absolutely do that. Okay, Patty, will everything be transferred tomorrow automatically from 1.0 to 2.0? Yes, it absolutely will. In fact, it's already there. Everybody's inventory has already been operating in both modes, but we've just not turned it on for everybody. We've already got about 120 stores using Inventory 2.0, and everybody else's has been ready to go. And tomorrow when we cut it over, it will be simply a case of us automatically changing which version of the software that you see. So you won't see the old one, this guy, but you will see the new one. So yeah, that's all automatic. Yeah, Rob, is Stripe integrated in 2.0? It absolutely is. We did it last week. So you can see now, again, this is definitely outside of the scope of today's meeting, but just seeing as you ask. So we go ahead and search for existing reservations. I can click on there, I can open it, and you'll see there Stripe. So I can see Stripe. I can add a Stripe card. It would have lit up in blue like the old system did when there's a Stripe card associated with it. And we've also rolled out Lightspeed integration this week as well. Okay, Peter, is there a way to make a product reservable day of only? This is nice when bikes go on sale late in the season when bikes are not. Interesting, yeah. So sort of make it not reservable in the future at the end of your season so that you can sell them at will if someone comes in. That is a really good point, Peter. Thank you. Yeah, because just to sort of rewind a little bit, when we're building out this feature where we do, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to do one-click selling. So you're going to say here, listen, I'm going to put a for sale price. So yeah, okay. So price is going to be $300, and it's going to be from maybe in the rentals that we do. You know, hey, John, thanks for renting the bike. Did you know this bike is available at $300, or you can purchase today for $350? That's the kind of behavior that we're looking to do. And so it's a really good point about taking future reservations. During this selling phase, we probably do want to have a concept of a bike being day only. So yeah, thanks very much. That is a good idea. Okay, once an item is deleted, is it gone forever? Is there a report we can look at seasonally to see what has been deleted? Again, great question. Thank you very much. You do have the ability to see them once they've been archived. So let's go into the search page. You see here, and by the way, you can search by category as well as by ID. But when you search, you can decide whether or not you show, by default, it only shows operational bikes. So bikes that are ready, checked out, etc. But if you want to search for archive bikes, you can turn on that filter. And if you want to search for non-operational ones, now non-operationals, they're not as, there's actually 4 phases. The first phase is it's ordered. So that's pre. The middle phase is that it's operational. So that's when you're renting it. Then there's post-operational, which is like, okay, I've sold it or it's been stolen. And then archived means I really don't care about this bike for the time being. I kind of never want to see it again. So we have 2 different levels of non-operational, either kind of, you know, nearly operational, pre or post, or really quite old and hence archived. And you can simply turn these filters on or off so you can see your archived bikes as well. And what we're doing just this week, actually, we're rolling out the ability to have those filters in this view as well. So when you come in next week, you'll see you've got a couple of different options in here as well, view non-operational and view archived as well. So you can see archived stuff as well. So we don't ever delete something. We do what they call a virtual delete, so that we can, well, it's for 2 reasons. So that you can look up what you used to have, but also if you look at a reservation, and it's historical, maybe you're looking up an old customer and he came in 2018 and he was on this bike, you still want to be able to see what bike he had, even if you've archived the bike. So it'll tell you the bike, everything about the bike, but it'll just say status archived or sold, whatever status it's in. Okay, let's have a look. I think that might be all the questions. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's good. Any final questions before we break, or any requests for future webinars? Okay, well, I think I'll wrap it up then. Thank you very much for attending, everybody. That's been great. Good turnout. Great questions. Hopefully, you will enjoy using the new system. It should be. Oh, we've got another late question. Paddy, is it a possibility to change prices for the future? You mean like predefine a cutover point where it goes into a different pricing? So either at the end of the year or a change of season. So not yet. But we are, once we've got this big software release out of the way, Inventory 2.0 and Full 2.0, we do plan to introduce seasonal pricing, whereby you can do summer and winter. And it's even more powerful than that because you can potentially have different agents that you use, tour operators accessing different pricing as well. So either summer and winter pricing or agent pricing, etc. And that, of course, will entail cutover points as well. So yeah, we will have that, but I haven't got a time frame for you yet, and we don't do it right now. So regarding this webinar, Peter, yeah, it will be available in the future. So this is recording, and we'll make it available for everyone to have a look at. Okay, folks, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming along, and you know where we are when we switch over to reach out for any support questions you might have. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.